Morning, everybody. It's Friday. Hallelujah, I can say.
Yes.
It's Megan and Monique from Soapy Smooches, our normal Friday bite. And today, Megan, I would like to talk to you about a problem that I potentially have. So, you know, I've been visiting a lot in the Northwest and in Pekinwood, and there's a pool, and we have to drive. And, you know, I've realized that it's easy to talk, but a lot more involved to do. So my dogs are not so car friendly. So firstly, I've got this thing at the back that goes around the seat.
Yes.
And then it's like it makes almost like half a box so they can get there.
It's like a little hammock, like a little car
Yes,
hammock.
it's a car hammock, right? And they can pee on it, which they don't do. My girls are good. However, they all want to sit on my lap, and some of them get over. So it's a case of training, right?
Yes.
How do I get them to get used to that?
So the ideal thing to do initially, especially when you're just getting your dogs used to traveling and getting them used to sitting in the back without you, is often to travel with someone. Just so that you have almost a sort of dummy in the back that can keep your dogs occupied and get them used to sitting in the back of the car, you know, while the person that they want to be with is...
I'm actually just laughing because I could get a doll, a blow-up doll. I mean, that's terrible. I could get one of those, you know.
I was thinking more along a living, breathing person is ideal. But just until the dogs are used to being in the back of the car, and the car hammock that you have is also great because it just prevents them from being able to jump over into the front of the car where they could obviously end up by your feet and end up stepping on the accelerator or the brake at an inopportune moment.
I mean, my Didi, as you all know, is my little beaver. She weighs just on 2.9 kilos, so she's small enough to go under the pedals, and that's the problem. So she doesn't really, but I mean, this is the worst of the worst that can happen. But the thing is, it is distracting, and there's potholes on the road, and it's really bad. So that's just what I wanted to say. So the other thing is, I've done some homework on this, and they do have like a grid, but they're very available to cars with 7 seats. So it's more like, you know, for that sort of thing, for
like a sort of station wagon where you can put them in the back.
So they're not really for normal cars, but I am looking around. So if anybody knows of any grids that I can get, like to put between the front seat and the back seat and in between my hammock, that would actually be the ideal solution, right? Hey, maybe we should manufacture those and sell them. Anyway, that's my thing. And then the other thing, on the other side, there's a pool.
Yes.
And how do I teach the girls not to go near the pool?
So it is a case of training. Strangely enough, it's not the sort of training that most people, you know, sort of realize. It's not a case of keeping them away from the pool, because unfortunately, you know, dogs
they
will be
go
dogs.
where they're not allowed to.
You know, if they see a hottie dog that they don't quite like in the garden, they're going to bolt after it, and you know, if they misjudge, they might slip into the pool accidentally. It might even happen when they're busy playing. You know, dogs spend a lot of the time of the day, especially when there's more than one dog playing with each other. So your training should more be focused around your dog knowing where the shallow end is and how to get out of the pool, which does require you, unfortunately, hopefully not these days when it's so cold, putting your dog in the pool and using treats and training them to swim to the end where they are able to get out.
You got it. I had a thing in my other house where it's like a I don't know, it's not a plank, it's a plastic.
Yes, it's like a little ramp.
Yeah, a plastic ramp that you fix onto the side.
Correct.
And then they can get out, because the shallow end isn't always shallow enough for them to be able to get out. You can also use 2 bricks, I think, to, you know, to make the shallow end so they can kind of stand on the bricks and jump out. So
for smaller dogs like yours, I would recommend that the ramp is the ideal way to go. Sometimes the bricks, you know, they might fall over, you know, they might not be able to see them under the water. So for your small dogs, definitely the ramp is the way to go. You have to have one, or cover your pool. And for the dogs that are able to stand on the sort of step or the shallow end, you know, those dogs, you can just allow them to be trained to find where to get out and allow them to hop out on their own, and obviously reward them once they're out.
Yes, I think the bigger the dogs are, the less
but
yet still, you know, I know of bulldogs and dogs that have drowned because they couldn't find how to get out, because they don't drown immediately. They actually drown from swimming around and around and around.
So
and
funny enough, bulldogs especially, they don't swim. It's quite a scary thing to see. When a bulldog falls in a pool, and bulldog owners will know, they literally sink like a rock. It's quite horrifying. So if you have dogs like bulldogs, but your dogs like staffies, your other brachycephalic breeds, which just means the squish nose breeds,
Say that again.
I can't, I haven't even had coffee. But so your staffies, you know, those other dogs that do have the squished up noses, your Pekingese, that sort of thing, they do struggle from exhaustion if they are swimming around too much. A bulldog literally sinks like a pebble, and of course your Yorkies and things, they're so little, you know, they really do struggle to get out.
They can't get out.
Yeah, so I would say if you have replicated dogs, your best bet is to cover up the pool completely. If you have little dogs, I would say that a ramp and training them to swim to the ramp is your best bet.
Yes, in summer preferably.
Yes,
I think the way to go is to get a cover.
Yeah, I think especially unless you want to jump in the pool in the middle of winter, which is not ideal.
Not really. Anyway, we're finding today cold, let alone in the pool. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. It's just some of the stuff that I'm experiencing myself right now, and I'm sure other people are also. And you know, I find it's easy to talk about these things, but when I'm involved in it, it actually just teaches me that, oh, I've got to make another plan. So I hope this was helpful. Have a great day and have a fabulous weekend, and we'll be back next week Friday. That's if I can still stand on this rock that Megan made me stand on. Bye everybody.